It's always nice to meet friends. It's nice to call somebody a friend. And there's nothing like having a friend. I think what we miss most in life, and I am looking at life as a whole, thousands of my friends and their lives, and I see what they miss most is a friend. A true friend. I notice that people have friends who come and go. They say, long ago we had a friend. He left us. Or we couldn't keep up with him. Or he moved to another location. We talk of so many friends who became friends and then they are no more there. Then friends die, pass away. We miss them, they're gone. When we talk of friendship, it occurs to me that maybe most people don't know that there can be a friend who can be a friend forever and who will never leave us. I found that possibility, that there can be a friend who can be your friend and will never leave you no matter what. When I say never, I literally mean never. Into eternity. Not during this life, nor any other life. That such a person is available to us to be a friend, that a human being is available to become a friend like that, I think it's nothing short of a miracle. Especially when we see how short friendships are in this world. So I found that the real friendship can be measured in many ways. They say a friend in need is a friend indeed. Of course, if a friend, when you need a friend and he's not there, you can't call him a friend. I notice people with a lot of money have many friends. When they get broke, there are no friends. It's very strange. Whose friends are they? Of the wallet or of the person who's having the wallet? Therefore, their friendships are based on so many conditions. If you are like that, I am your friend. If you're not like that, I'm not your friend. I find that there are some people who are very depressed. And when I meet them and talk to them, they tell me almost invariably, we have no friends. People go to a depressed person and they don't want to get depressed and they run away. They may have been long friends. Friendship might have lasted for a long time just because a person is depressed. And there are so many circumstances around us which make us depressed in this world. And we lose friends. That's the time when we need the friends most. And those friends disappear. Friends disappear when we are poor. Friends disappear when we are sad. Friends disappear when we are broke. Friends disappear when we are depressed. What kind of friendship is that? Certainly this does not qualify as friendship if the definition is a friend in need is a friend indeed. Because that's when you need a friend most. Moreover, even when we say we had a very good friend, I normally see people talking, we had a very good friend. What about why I have a very good friend? Very few people tell me I have a very good friend for a long time, for 30 years, 50 years, all my life. Very few people have that experience. And then those friends also pass away. And the longer that friendship has been, the more sad we feel at their departure. So that friendship that lasts only short periods of time, how can we call it true friendship? On the other hand, I discovered, not only from my experience, but from experience of many others, that if you have a friend who is a perfect living master, it's a friendship forever. For many reasons. One reason is that the perfect living master makes it certain that you carry that friend with you in your head all the time. That the friendship is not based upon a mortal, physical, temporary body. That is based upon something that outlasts this life. And therefore that friendship goes on forever. It does not stop. It goes into regions which are timeless. And therefore that friendship never ends. There's a flip side to it too. The flip side is, you may not like that friend anymore, but he still wants to be your friend and continues to be your friend. This friendship which does not judge you, does not put any conditions on you, does not say whether you are rich or poor, whether you are sad or happy, but your friendship is always there and remains unconditional and lasts forever. That's great friendship. I have come to the conclusion that true friendship is that which does not end, which lasts forever. It's rare. I concede it is rare. It's not very common. But then if we get an opportunity to have a friendship like that, there's nothing like it. Ultimately, we find that our basic problem, which creates all problems, is the problem of loneliness. We are lonely. We have skin-deep relationships in this world. Relationships where we can feel that this is not what I really need. My heart is asking for something more than what I'm getting. And that all these relationships we are having are based upon conditions, based upon something expectations from each other, something that ties us down to something other than the relationship. It is something that is not truly long-lasting. Just by the very nature of that kind of relationship we have, it's not long-lasting. And we remain alone. Standing in a crowd of people, we feel alone. Sitting with people, we feel alone. Because nobody touches our soul. Nobody touches us right where we have inner feeling. And we become hypocrites. We put up faces which are not our real faces. We try to pretend that we are something that we are not. We try to build relationships. We try to survive relationships. We try to act abnormally in order to survive in relationships. How can you have friendship in that kind of artificial life that you're leading? This artificiality of life comes because we can't be truthful. Truth hurts in these cases. And we become liars. And we conceal who we are. We put on one mask after another. And then we tell lies to protect ourselves in small situations. And then the lies get exposed and we have to have more lies to cover the previous lies. What kind of life is that? What kind of friendship can exist when we are in a state of fear all the time? Will I get caught? Will he find out? Will she find out? These are the problems that are besetting our mind all the time. Just because we do not have a friend and we are alone. We are lonely. This loneliness comes from the fact that we are lonely. It does not come from any artificial thing. The truth is that our inner self is not exactly what we think it is. We are thinking the self is our body. Loneliness is not in the body. We have plenty of company around us. We think that we are the sensory perceptions that can see, touch, taste, smell, that's our personality, that's who we are. We are doing that all the time. We're eating, drinking, making merry, having sex, having friendships of that kind all the time. Yet we are lonely. The sense perceptions are not ourselves. They're just instruments attached to us. Then we think that our thoughts are ourselves. That when we think, that means that must be our real self. Because we can think, therefore we must be that real self. And then we realize thoughts are not our friends at all. When we consider the way we think and what kind of thoughts we have, thoughts are more crushing for us than anything else. If you look back in your life, what crushed you most was your own thoughts. You could think yourself into depression. You could think yourself into breaking relationships. You could think yourselves in hating people. You could think yourselves into committing murder. You could think yourself into murder and evil and all that. How many times have we had positive thoughts and how many times have we had negative thoughts? A mechanism existing in our consciousness which enables us to think does not become ourself. It remains a mechanism. Thinking is a mere process in consciousness. Thinking cannot become us. Then who are we who are lonely? We are the ones that are trying to overcome our loneliness in the company of our mind, in the company of our thoughts, in the company of our sense perceptions, in the company of a world that we created around us, in the company of people who cannot be our friends. Naturally, we have to be lonely. There is no escape. Unless we can meet somebody at the level of our own spiritual self, the self that creates the experiences with the mind, with the senses, with the body, unless we have a companionship at that level, we will always be lonely. And yet, that companionship is available. When I talk of a true friend, I am not talking of a person. There are lots of persons who look like true friends. I am talking of one who becomes your companion at the spiritual level, who is with you no matter what your thoughts, who is with you no matter where you live, who is with you no matter what your belief system, who is with you no matter what spiritual practice you practice or don't practice, who is with you no matter whether you are a believer in God or an atheist. Somebody who can be with you as you are, your real basic self. That would be a true friend. And when we talk of a perfect living master, PLM, perfect living master, when we talk of that, we're talking of such a being. We're talking of such a person. Such a person exists as our companion of the soul, as a companion of the innermost part of ourselves. That person is felt at the soul level and not felt otherwise. It takes time to feel otherwise. The soul feels almost immediately. There's an instant feeling in the soul. I have met something.